Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Nairobi Sevens. This one, it is Kenya versus South Africa. Two women's sides who want to really make a statement throughout this competition. Now, for the South Africans, they have gone 1-1 in terms of 1 win, 1 loss. Whereas for Kenya, they had a great win over the Brazilians, 15 points to 12. But then they did suffer the loss to China, 15-12, the exact same scoreline. So both of these teams are sitting 1 win, 1 loss heading into this here. Dead looking through at the starting lineups. Nadine Ruiz, she is the captain for the South African side, is always one who will lead from the front. Sharemba, she often tries to score multiple tries in a matchup and oftentimes succeeds in doing just that. And then looking through at this Kenyan side, they have got some real talent. Chadira, the captain, and also Grace Okelu, another one to keep an eye out for in this matchup. But the two sides out there on the field, again, we hear a brilliant reaction and a reception for this Kenyan team as they make their way out onto the field, seeing as it is the home game. And hi all, how's it going? Says Big Rick, doing very well. You're currently only sitting around an hour away from that start of the two Six Nations fixtures. We are going to be covering both of them on the channel as well. As South Africa gonna win, says Mornay. And also, hey Kiwi Sir, what's your score prediction here? Well, this is quite an interesting one because if South Africa fire, they can win this game. But at the same time, the Kenyans, in terms of consistency of what they've been able to do throughout this competition, 15-12 seems like a reasonable scoreline because that is the exact score that they've had for their last two matches. Ireland will eat lunch, or eat Italy for lunch. Says Big Rig, you'd like to think so. But we'll have to wait and see. I feel like Ireland, you know, they definitely didn't perform the way that they would have liked to in their first match of the Six Nations up against a very strong French side. But yeah, you think that something could be on the cards here for this Irish team. Although, to be fair, Italy will go into that game with that little bit of confidence too, based on how they played up against the Scottish. But these two sides just in their huddles around the halfway line before we are ready to go in this matchup. It is the host nation versus their African opposition here. Going to be a great showcase of African women's sevens just in general. I'm eating my lunch, so it isn't Italian or Irish, so I'm off theme. And Italy should be feeling high after beating the Scots and France dominating Ireland. Says Big Rig. Now ready to go for this contest, and it's going to be kicked off by the South Africans going from left to right here. 1 win, 1 loss for both of these teams. Someone will be sitting theoretically with the 2 wins here, unless we have a very close game and we go to a draw. But it is going to be a penalty early on in favour of the Kenyans. No clear release from the Blitzboks women's side. And now, from just inside of their own 22, an opportunity to get this one moving here for Kenya. Seems like the kick downfield is going to be the option that they go with. And it has gone into touch. Only 30 seconds into this game, and they are probably already feeling a little bit of the fatigue. They've talked about the heat that these two sides are dealing with to play in this contest, as well as the altitude thrown in there as well. Already 2 matches played throughout today. So it can make it very difficult to find their rhythm. And now Nadine Ruiz, after the line-out steal, it's going to be a chance here, pure pace for the South Africans, and a nice try early on. And that is going to be, I want to say, Shaniqua Lambrick, who has gone in. Yes, it was. She has got pure pace off the mistake on the line-out from Kenya. Nadine Ruiz passes it off to the teammate, and Lambrick, she has a lot of pace when she gets a bit of space available for her. Does open up this game for a try on the side of the South Africans. But what we will do is we will update our scoreboard. The kick has gone over as well for the South Africans. Nice striking of the ball from Nadine Ruiz. After 90 seconds, South Africa do take the lead. Now getting ready to drop kick this one, South Africa. Going high and back towards the Kenyan 22. Safe hands there from the captain, Chajira. I'm trying to shuffle step here. So only the 25 metres out from our own line with the run from Awafula. And that is going to be another tap that is taken quickly by Kenya after the penalty for a second time against South Africa. Ball on the inside. Nice stepping here, getting a crowd into this contest. Huge collision. It's going to be another penalty. Double blow of the whistle here. This might... Sounds like it could be a yellow card here for the South Africans. Might have been a bit too high on the tackle on Odor. Let's see the replay now. How high does she go? It's relatively up there. I want to say that maybe it was just the momentum of the shot, though, that does force the head backwards. By the sounds of it, it is just going to be a penalty rather than anything more. But it is now going to be Kenya's scrum feet. I believe, anyway, we're just waiting for the TMO decision. Go through the referee. A long time no see. He's Wrestling 812. What was your original name, Wrestling? Because I know that in the last couple months, YouTube switched the @ symbols and then people's username rather than what their original YouTube name was. So what was your original one? Do let me know and I'll probably recognize the name better than Wrestling 812. That is relatively high. They are just showing the slow motion replay. This might actually be a little bit of trouble here for Makua. And the verdict here is still being decided by the referee and the TMO. Right, indirect contact. A yellow card against Makua here. It did take them a little while, but they have probably found the right decision in that case. She is pretty surprised by the looks of that. Larato Makua did not expect to get penalised, let alone a yellow card for that tackle. It is going to be quickly taken by Kenya, although I believe they had already called for the scrum. And Hamish All says Wild Lobster. And they're welcome in. Apparently a one-woman advantage here for Kenya. The early stages of the contest wasn't the same thing ruled as a no card. Just a penalty in the Chiefs game, although Sevens is normally a little bit different in terms of their strictness of certain decisions. Now going off to the left-hand side. Kenya in possession. Trying to cut inwards. And not quite able to do so. Now, once again, almost going straight through. In fact, they will here for Kenya and the captain in Chachira. She almost manages to get it down. Nadine Ruiz put in a decent effort, but the try is still scored. And it's going to make this game a lot closer between these two sides now. 7 points to 7. With the 4 minutes, or in fact only the 3 minutes gone at the moment in this contest. Although there is still the kick to come. It may be a tricky one for Kenya. We may have to take 2 points off them. Good afternoon, says Pleasure. Welcome back again. And it is good to have you. Yeah, for this one, last one before those Six Nations games. I'm very intrigued to see how they're going to go. Because there's a way that I think they're going to go, and then there's the way that they're probably actually going to go. Definitely that Scotland-England game. That's a very hard one to be able to fully pick. The score, 7 points to 5. The misconversion from the Kenyans there. Going to make the score just the 2 points in favour of the Blitzboks woman. A yellow lorry, red lorry. Yellow lorry, red lorry. And also we have got there unique New York, unique New York, unique New York. You're doing some tongue twisters by the looks of it. How seismic would it be if Italy pulled off a win against Ireland? Could Farrell survive it? I definitely wouldn't want to be him. That is for sure. But like the thing is, I don't know if you get more stick from the Irish supporters or whether it would be the more stick from elsewhere that would be the worst of it, if that makes sense. Because it seems to be currently in the world of rugby, it's not even the own fans that give it the worst stick to the coaches. It's actually the fans from other countries that then, I guess, fire up the own country's crowd a little bit more. But going off to the right-hand side, Kenya in possession. 5 minutes have passed in this matchup. Currently only separated by the two. It was always going to be a close game between these two sides. And then Ruiz lurking around the breakdown, but this time it is Lumbrick who has been able to steal it. Oh. Okay, Nadine Ruiz was not happy at all. She was asking the penalty for the potential yellow card for Kenya throwing that ball away. Their vocal warm-up exercises. Says Big Rig. I don't know how many of those we're going to need. 1 second, I'm about to sneeze, so we will hide off to the side like we normally would. 1 second. There we are good. Just the usual hay fever in the morning, but now going off to the right-hand side. Chance here for South Africa on the attack. So he's at 20 metres out from the line. Nadine Rus goes back across. Nice step on the inside. Almost able to go through for number. We've got to remember South Africa, they were playing with only less players on the field, but the one who did get the yellow card was involved in that try, I believe. But in this case, it was Sharimba who was able to get over to score. She always seems to, in games for these South Africans, finds a way over that try line, and now 12 points to 5, the way that the scoreline sits. Just the 1 minute remaining of this first half as well. He's not that popular outside of Leinster. A few bad results and the Axis will be out in the provinces, says Fleishan. What is his time there in New Zealand at the moment? It is 1:57 a.m. here in New Zealand. Come on, South Africa, make us proud, says Martin. Like, to be fair, I think a lot of people are already proud of what the South African side have been able to do in terms of getting promoted from that third division to be in this competition to start with, and they would love nothing more than to get promoted onto that women's series as well. We need a side to be able to compete with New Zealand and Australia, because currently, each and every final, it is the same matchup every time. So could South Africa be that side that find a way of competing with the Kiwis and the Aussies? They've won themselves a penalty there in the breakdown. Now Lamprecht tries to go through. And there's a knock on there. They lost to Brazil. They did. Although they've bounced back relatively well. By the looks of it here, they are leading in this contest. 12 points to the 5. Where does the Blitzboks play? They don't. In this tournament, they are in Division 1 rather than Division 2. So the next time that they will be in action is in about probably 4 weeks' time, somewhere around there. Damn, you're not tired, Mr. Kiwi Sir. I am exhausted, but we are still going for more throughout the night. It's good afternoon. What happened in the earlier game in Super Rugby game? Because I had lunch, had some lunch, and I was busy having a nap. What happened in Super Rugby results from this morning? So we did see Moana Pacifica. They got themselves the win over the Fijian Rua. We saw the Chiefs get the away win up against the Blues. And then the Brumbies got the win up against the Western Force. So it was actually 3 away wins from the matches. And 12:57 in rainy old England. So here's Big Rig there. Currently 7 points to the difference between these two sides. 5 for Kenya, 12 for the South Africans. Still time to be able to work with here and get something going if you are Kenya. But you pretty much have to be the side that strikes first in the second half. Any chance for South Africa that is taken might all but secure them this game. 1 second, we'll go like that. And like that as well, so that we are ready for the second half when it does get underway. We have got there, where are you at, mate? I'm in the sky of the eye of the storm in Oxford. Blue skies for a bit there as the sun up. And we have got there, are you angry for? Am I angry for what? Your voice sounds pretty groggy. It must be tired right now, says Cole. Yeah, hopefully it starts firing up. It's just because of having a little break in between the two live streams that sometimes can stop it from working that well. But yeah, I'd say by the Six Nations, hopefully it will start to sound a little bit more normal. Getting ready to go for this kickoff here in the second half, though. Kenya ready to go from left to right. And we get underway. Kicked off down towards the 22. That's gone through the hands of Sharimba. And she may have just got a fingertip to that one, which does now bring the line out here for Kenya in a good position on the field. What time is the next game after this one? The next game would be at 2:55 a.m. New Zealand time, so 55 minutes. And that is between Ireland and Italy. Taken by South Africa at line-out time, and penalty awarded to for Kenya playing the arm. Was the challenge in the air. Mistake made from Kenya. They've had a little bit of ill discipline in this contest. Nothing too serious, but just enough to keep on losing the ball Six Nations or Sevens? Six Nations, Italy versus Ireland. And then following that one, it is England versus Scotland. And get one more try. South Africa says Martin. And Dean Rus. Ready for this line-out throw. 7-point lead at the moment for the South Africans. So the referee just getting that line-out sorted. Is Ange playing? That's a good question. I haven't actually done all the lineups and everything for that game as of yet, so I couldn't actually tell you who's in that Italian lineup for the game. But I know he was missing last week, wasn't he? All missed pass here from South Africa, passing it straight into touch. 1 second, I'm about to sneeze again. Hay fever's really hitting me in the morning. The scrum is the call that they have decided to go with here for the Kenyans as well, by the sounds of it. Yeah, he missed last week. And also, we have got the Hope Scotland win. I don't know, the Druids were right in the sky to fall on our heads, says Fleshin. Now 5 minutes left in this matchup. I think that 7 points, it's getting to the point now that might almost be enough. Although, South Africa haven't had a huge amount of possession throughout the second half. Keep on giving the ball back to Kenya and give them a chance of maybe managing to win this game. Another penalty. That time it's going to be against number. Does get penalised. Lucky Ferguson needs to be a rhino today. What's wrong, Hamish? I have no idea what that last part is. Now 4 minutes 30 now remaining in this contest. Kenya again have got themselves another scrum and they are making the change here. I see there Wafula, she makes her way actually back onto the field. She was out there for the early stages of the game, may have been subbed off and then subbed back on. And the Druids were our pre-Christian leaders. Says Fleshin. It is the women's playing again for South Africa. They have got, I believe they've finished all their games for today once this game comes to a close, but they have got a game tomorrow up against China at 9 p.m. New Zealand time, followed by a game up against Argentina at 1:12 a.m. Now Lambrek, the ball is back on the side of the South Africans. There's a call for a forward pass. And now it's back for another Kenyan scrum. A hangover, says Martin. Yeah, it's pretty hard to get one of those without drinking. But now 4 minutes left. See a lot of support for this Kenyan side in the stands for the Nairobi Sevens. Have you heard of Stonehenge? It's a location, isn't it? The one with like the few stones, the big ones. Could be extra time, says Mohadin. Could be. Although, do they just call it as a draw in this competition? Will this take us to the island match? It should do if I've set it up properly. But we'll wait and see. Now going back across, Kenya still 20 metres out, looking for the steal and the breakdown this time. And South Africa do now get the penalty. Just seemed like a lack of ball security there. Well, that keeps the batting first, says Peps Watts. I still haven't been Bubba Luz. Can you believe it? I don't drink, says Ty. Be a mystical mystery. Mysterical mystery and conspiracy theorist dream of centuries, says Big Rig. Now a couple changes being made for both of these sides. I think there are 3 minutes remaining in this contest, and currently South African still leading by 11. We have had a scoreless second half for now. And all that can, of course, change. How do you think Ireland will do today? Well, they can't do like worse than last week, which is the reality for them. I think that they'll be a lot stronger. Don't cry, Hamish. I feel sorry for hurting you, Hamish. Who's crying, Mahadeen? Sometimes I do wonder if you are watching the same live stream as everyone else. Because you said I was angry before. And now I'm almost only angry because you're saying that I am crying. But I'm not sure who I'm crying for. All that one's in touch. And it's going to be a chance now for Kenya round halfway. And going Ireland 35-15. Right, referee's just trying to get control of this game. There's been a lot of big little moments, if that makes sense, in this game. Like a big tackle was made that stops the line break chance. But for now, there's still a chance for a change on the scoreboard. Kenya still in possession. although losing that ball backwards. Big fend attempted there on Malinga. He has hardly been seen throughout this contest so far. Ireland 40, Italy 42. That would be a very high scoring game if that is the case. Now, a little bit of a counter ruck from Nadine Rus. Seems like South Africa are winning the physicality breakdown battle. But at the same time, Kenya still had a lot of phases for a side that aren't getting the breakdown work going in their favour. That is another penalty against South Africa. And we have got there South Africa, or Springboks win. I go for next Bubbalas. And I'll be joining in with your tears tomorrow, mate. Says Fleshin. Yeah, that game could be quite a painful one. But at the same time, I feel like I'm excited to see what Jalibert will do. I know that it's not ideal for Wales, but that man has been in such good form for Bordeaux. I couldn't believe when I was looking through at those odds last week in New Zealand, because I like to keep an eye on who's doing what. They were having him as like a $5.60 underdog for scoring a try in that game, which I couldn't quite believe, because that man's been scoring them for fun for the Bordeaux Bedglass, but now moving this one forward. Chance for Kenya, can't quite get the offload away on the ground. Joining breakdown incorrectly as well. Could have been a penalty against the Kenyans, but 40 seconds remaining. They're going to go up the middle of the field in Kenya. They managed to score the try now. And that is a finish and a half. Maritu off the bench. We could be on for a draw here between these two sides. This one, if the kick goes over, we go to level here in this matchup with only the 20 seconds remaining in this contest. And I'm here, or I hear you going to the Rugby World Cup 2027. You really, whoever you heard it from was obviously lying, because we're not. And we have got to nail the conversion first, and it will be a relatively tricky one. And that is where Kenya, a little bit more game management might have been needed for Maritu. She did not realise maybe that it was the closing moments of that kick was crucial. There will be a restart. Kenya do miss the conversion attempt. So I'll make the score 12 points to 10 with one more moment in this game. We have got there, Hamish, why are you watching this useless rugby game? Watch Black Cats versus Proteas, because there's Six Nations going on at the same time. Dawn hit it, so unless we were going to do 30 minutes of the game and then leave it, it was just easier to not do that Black Cats versus Proteas. And yeah, I was there 2 years ago. That was a bad second half. Can't take much more, says Fleshin. It's like a little bit of strapping going on to the thumb at the moment. He's just talking about Golden Point, although Golden Point is no longer an option. And that's one, Mr. Kiwi Sir, did you see my last message? I see that your last message was, Mr. Kiwi Sir, did you see my last message? And we are betting first, we are cooked, says Dawny Edits. Although, yeah, they've chased, haven't they, throughout pretty much the whole tournament. The Black Caps thus far, they were second batting up against UAE, second batting up against Afghanistan as well. That ball's kicked in a touch by South Africa, so they will win this game 12 points to 10 and a close match up against the Kenyans. But they do get over the line. South Africa versus New Zealand 3:30 in the cricket, and Black Cats will win, says Martin. And also we have got there, at some point you need to watch a game at Twickenham. Every rugby fan needs to at least once. The atmosphere is wild. Alcohol should never be the answer. Alcohol is the question. Acid is the answer, says Taiwan. And Kenya's poor kicking cost them. Yeah, unfortunately just not able to add those additional points for the Kenyans in this game, which could have made all the difference in terms of the score. But the end score in this matchup is a victory for the Blitzboks women. They bounce back and they get themselves a very handy win. They are just showing the table at the moment. Argentina, South Africa, Spain, and Kenya are all above the line, whereas Brazil and China are below it. And of course, a lot can change in the very near future. But thank you all very much for tuning in. The next game that we have got coming up on the channel will be Ireland. They're just showing the men's table as well. Kenya, USA, Germany, and Uruguay all above at the moment that line. And Canada, Belgium, they are just below it. But yeah, next game in 45 minutes time for the Six Nations. And then after that one, we've got another match, which will be England versus Scotland Six Nations contest there as well. But thank you all very much for watching. I will see you all for the next one.